In 1799, King Serfoji II signed away his kingdom. Under a new treaty with the British East India Company, he surrendered his administrative control, his military command, and his revenues. On paper, he was reduced to a titular ruler, a king of nothing but the palace grounds. Most deposed royalty fade quietly into historical footnotes, living out their days on colonial pensions. Serfoji took a different path. Deprived of political territory, he decided to shift his borders. If he couldn't rule over land, he would rule over knowledge. He began constructing an empire of the mind, a calculated act of intellectual defiance against colonial erasure that would outlast the British Empire itself. To understand how this happened, we have to look back to 1674, when a commander named Venkoji conquered the Kaveri Delta. This created a geographic anomaly, a Marathi warrior dynasty ruling deep in the heart of Tamil Nadu. Looking at this historical sketch of the Thanjavur Maratha palace, you can see the daily reality of this court. Notice the elephants and courtiers gathered at the entrance. This was a busy, multilingual crossroads where Marathi traditions collided with local Tamil and Telugu influences. What started as a military outpost effectively built a bridge between North and South India. That 17th century collision provided the precise cultural DNA Serfoji needed for his 19th century intellectual renaissance. The first major synthesis happened in sound. Early Maratha rulers invited Marathi devotional singers, known as kirtankars, to Thanjavur. They brought with them the rapid, complex rhythms of northern Abhangs and Warkari music. Local artists began to combine those northern storytelling structures with the flowing, melodic ragas of southern Carnatic music. This created Harikatha, a highly popular, multilingual musical discourse that scholars and the public could both enjoy. But Serfoji pushed this evolution further. Take a look at this wooden violin. He introduced this Western instrument into his royal palace band. His musicians standardized its tuning and posture, realizing the violin perfectly mimics the ornamentation of the human voice in Carnatic performance. At the same time, the local percussion instrument, the mridangam, was redesigned. By swapping the clay body for jackfruit wood, craftsmen achieved a clearer, resonant bass tone to keep up with the new rhythmic complexities. These changes to instrumentation and structure became the standard. They integrated foreign elements so deeply that the modern sound of Carnatic music is inseparable from this specific period of royal patronage. While the music evolved, the king turned his attention to text. He expanded the Saraswati Ujjal library into a global repository, filling it with over 4,000 books across a dozen European and Indian languages. Serfoji recognized that ancient wisdom was fragile. He actively commissioned scholars to travel across the subcontinent, tracking down rare manuscripts so they could be meticulously copied and preserved in Thanjavur. This handwritten manuscript in Devanagari script is the exact raw material Serfoji collected. To standardize and mass-produce these works, he established South India's first stone-type printing press. Look closely. The red annotations are evidence of meticulous daily cataloging by scholars. By embracing the printing press, Serfoji moved knowledge out of the exclusive realm of elite manuscript collectors. He built a machine for broad public dissemination. The king's curiosity also extended to the human body. He established the Dhanvantari Mahal, a research facility where practitioners of Ayurveda, Unani, and Siddha traditions worked directly alongside European doctors. Here is a medical plate titled Surgery, showing European diagrams of leg splints and head dressings. Serfoji moved from studying these plates to performing procedures himself. He maintained 18 volumes of detailed medical case histories matching this clinical precision. He applied this same medical philosophy to the city itself. He ordered the construction of Thanjavur's first underground drainage system and dug numerous public wells to improve urban sanitation. Without a military to command, Serfoji redirected royal resources into the scientific advancement and physical health of the people who still called him king. When King Serfoji died in 1832, over 90,000 people attended his funeral. It was an astonishing outpouring of grief for a monarch who technically possessed zero political power. By 1855, the British East India Company enacted the doctrine of lapse to formally annex Thanjavur, dissolving the physical Maratha dynasty completely. Yet, looking at the enduring stone of the Brihadiswara temple, we see a reflection of Thanjavur's true legacy. The physical kingdom vanished, but the Sarasvati Mahal library survived intact, alongside the instruments and musical forms the court had nurtured. Today, the violin is the primary melodic accompaniment in Carnatic concerts. Every single modern performance using that instrument is a direct descendant of Serfoji's royal palace band. The British treaties dismantled the Thanjavur state, but they could not dissolve the cultural architecture Serfoji left behind, a library that remains one of the most remarkable in India, and a musical tradition that is performed every day.